So my name's Tanya Watchdog. I'm the head of brand and marketing at a credit union. Really, the need for us was we were challenged by growing very quickly and not being really able to tell our story to our employees and our customers in terms of what made us unique and why they should choose us over some of our competitors. I'd say the value that was brought was really providing focus and clarity in terms of our messaging and really helping us stand out from the crowd and providing us with the building blocks really so that we could then develop our key messages and start building our brand story to all of our customers and employees.
Great. You've you've got lots of experience, many amazing brands that you've stewarded. Um, when you have these sorts of problems and you're thinking about, okay, who should I work with, or who do I need, or what do I need? What are some of the things that you like? I need someone, or I need an organization who can do, or is like what are some of the considerations that you think about?
Considerations are experience that really matter, having done something similar, not necessarily with a competitor, but in that space, understanding storytelling. Someone who is relatable, honestly, that matters a lot. Someone who listens and is able to really understand what our needs are and then be able to convey that back in terms of how they can help. I'd say that was probably the biggest factor in making that decision. And then recommendations too. Having been highly recommended by a trusted partner mattered a lot to us so that we felt very confident in our choice and moving forward.
Can you talk a bit about some of the realities of the stakeholder circumstances you found yourself in terms of, bringing them along for the ride?
Not all stakeholders were on the same, I'd say, had bought into the process because they thought the way they'd been telling their story for the last 15, 20 years was the right way and not understanding that not audiences may need to hear the story differently or told differently, and really distilling the messages down. So I think some of the stakeholders might have been skeptical, but I think through the process, we explained to them what was going to happen and that they were heard and listened to. And then the presentation back in terms of here's what we heard, here's how we've taken those points and distilled it down, and here's how we could use, could talk about ourselves going forward.
And can you reflect too on just how the process, I guess, was managed in a way that might have contributed to some of the receptivity or feelings of inclusion, for some of those stakeholders?
I think really having a proper process from the start mattered in a timeline. So understanding what each stage of the journey looked like, who the stakeholders were, which really came back to us and our team, ensuring that the right people were contacted and involved throughout the process. And oh God, I forgot the question.
It was how did some of the work with Michael maybe help, bring stakeholders along, make them feel included, that kind of thing?
I think what really mattered was Michael is exceptional at listening to stakeholders and really allowing them to be heard, and then allowing for some time repeating back what he heard and ensuring that their concerns would be addressed. I don't think that any individual that had been in contact with Michael did not feel confident in his abilities. I really think that there was a sense of confidence and just security that if anyone shared any kind of confidential matters, that they were going to remain that way. And I think that there was just overall, I think it was really positively accepted. So I say all that.
Yeah, that's good. Can you talk about sort of just maybe using some emotional language about sort of where you felt at the beginning, either, pre-process, and then maybe some of the emotional language to describe how you felt after, that you had some things to work with?
I'd say prior to the process kicking off and then really starting the engagement, I'd say I felt anxious and perhaps not very confident that we could actually get this work done, because I'm not the expert in engaging with someone else. You really hope that you've made the right choice and that you're able to deliver the results that you're looking for. But once the process, the engagement was kicked off and the actual plan had been shown and the process explained to myself and the stakeholders, felt very, very confident. And then by the end, I felt great, and I feel like it was a great product, and it was almost like an aha moment when the results and the recommendations had been delivered, because it seems easy. In the end, it's like, wow, why didn't I think of that? But it was a lot of background work to be able to get us there, to provide us with that, I'd say again, point of clarity, where we really needed to go, because the anxiety came from so much messaging and so much confusion. But at the end, it was just really a sense of calm and confidence, having come to that point.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Take me even further, where you as the marketing leader were feeling things that you recognize, like, okay, we're not optimizing here in terms of like going to market and aligning, and like, take me all the way back to like pre, where you were feeling those headwinds, that friction. Can you just talk a little bit about those feelings, like recognizing that, we're not doing our best here?
Yeah, I think that became pretty evident at the very beginning when I looked at what we were hoping to achieve, and then the lack of messaging or key messages or materials. They didn't align with what we said we were doing and what we were hoping to achieve and what we were trying to say to our customers. So there was a complete disconnect. And also, all of our regional offices did not explain or did not have the same messaging to their customers as well. So it was really disconnected. So it was very difficult to go out and campaign or send out any kind of communications, because not every office understood what our message was, or what our purpose was, what the brand really stood for. I'd go back to, you're just really good at being able to understand who we were as an organization, the competitive landscape, players, the stakeholders, the founders. I really try to, I mean, you respected all of them and all of the input. And we're really careful in terms of managing their feelings to ensure that the end product was a reflection of the work that they had put in and where we needed the organization to go. So I would say that was just the whole clarity, the focus and the respect of everyone, I think was really important for us. And I think that's what led to a really positive outcome.